Hey everybody, welcome to Personal Mastery Training. As the name says, it's about mastery of your of yourself. The enemy is rarely is the enemy outside. And even if there is physical enemies or blockages outside, if someone else can get through it, you can get through it. So it's a mental game. Once we can change our mental game, we change everything. The second one I do two podcasts. One is a strategy episode. So that's where I talk about a conversation, a topic, a quote, a lesson, an epiphany, something I learned from life, nature, clients, and I share it with you and I dissect it. And I invite you to take it and dissect it yourself, because I just don't believe we should get through a challenge. We should get from it. Because if you're just getting through it, you'll keep on getting through it over and over. But the minute you start to get from it, you'll find the lessons and you'll never make that mistake again or never do the same thing over again. Second one I do is a masterclass where I invite people who I believe are in the arena. They're currently in the arena of life and doing their thing and going through it. No one's perfect, but I want people who are out there doing it, not talking about it. And so I do a masterclass, which is today, and I pick the brains of the people in front of me. There could be authors, athletes, elite, just to pick their brain, and I want to share it with you, and you pick your nuggets out of it and dissect it as well. So today, I'm excited to have a return of double champ, Missy Truscott. She is Olympia fitness two-time champion. Just look at, if you're watching this video, if you're listening to it, right behind Missy is two precious golden medals that I'm looking at right now, the double champ. So we invited her back on, and this is going to be a great one, because now we go back and listen to the episodes before. You'll see Missy when I interviewed her before she won, and now we get a chance to get it fresh, how she feels now and what she learned along the way, and that's what she can share with us. So Missy, there's a champion, and her name is
Missy Truscott.
Amen. 2 times. All right.
Love it. Thanks
Awesome.
for having me.
Love it. We're going to do this again next year. So, okay, get used to it.
Hell yeah.
For number 3. All right. So, Missy, so now you're sitting here. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
When you were on that stage, I'm getting calls from people because they know I'm working with you. Oh my God, you can just tell as soon as she walked out, something's different about her. I feel like I was on that stage because I'm getting these messages and people are, it was a great moment for me too. Trust me. I was like, oh yeah, super proud. There she is. And I'm getting these messages. Oh my God, she just came out. She looks totally different. Oh, I can tell she's going to win from the first time she came out. How was it?
I mean, honestly, Alvin, it was such a different showing. And a big thank you to you for helping me really master my mind. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
You had just said, if you don't have control of your brain and your thoughts, you're kind of like a sinking ship. You're just self-sabotage. And people were messaging you oh my God, she looks so different. Well, yeah, that's because I built that confidence, which you helped me to find again in myself. It was, as soon as I stepped on stage, it was just boom, I was ready. It was like we had been there before. Visualization techniques and the stuff I had been doing on my own. It's it was just another day at work. It was just ready.
When you landed, one of the shots someone sent me was when you landed the back handspring, you landed and you went, you did a fist pump.
Yeah.
It was over. I think people knew it was over at that point. You came out, and you know what the scary thing is, you said to me after, you said, I felt that it was only 60%.
Yeah.
So 60. Oh my goodness. So there's 40 left in the tank.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I got so sick. So did Matt on the Monday, because we had gone to Vegas a week early. Just get acclimated with the weather change, and Las Vegas has that really dry air.
Yeah.
So my body has to get used to it because I'm up in Washington.
Right.
So when we got there, I just got extremely sick, and you and I were supposed to have a couple calls together, which I couldn't even get get on the Skype with you because I was so sick,
Yeah.
but
That's all.
it all worked out.
And you know, it's so funny. So you sick, but you didn't let that get in front of you. And although you say 60, everyone else saw 110, you know, obviously
Right.
didn't go over 100, but you know, they saw more than you said you were giving. So I can't even imagine, you know, that's the thing that everyone that I notice about champions, first of all, is that there's no excuses. They got to do the job and they're going to get the job done. No excuses. You don't find it. How was it? Is there at any point when you were feeling sick that you entertained going backwards?
I mean, physically, my body was like, okay, we're sick.
Mhm.
And I was worried that it might have been the C word again. So
Right. Yeah.
making sure it wasn't, it was just
Mhm.
cold.
Right.
Because I was so depleted, it was
Mhm.
really hard.
Mhm.
That in those moments where my mind started to like play tricks on me, like I'm
Mhm.
my body, like, oh, I don't look good anymore, and like just kind of in my own head, I would take some time to myself and just lay on the couch. I would put on like an app, just the calming app, and just
Mhm.
listen to like birds chirping. I would
Mhm.
be there, visualize the stage and what we
Mhm.
how everything was going to be.
Mhm.
Because at that point, you know, I had walked through Planet Hollywood. I knew exactly. Matt and I went like a couple of days early.
Yeah.
So I knew the walk-in. I knew what the stage looked like. I knew where the audience was. So I was just visualizing all of that,
Mhm.
not feeling well.
Mhm. I love that. You know, I was listening to something recently. Was it 77? I might be off. I'm just gonna say there's trillions of cells in our bodies, trillions. And each cell, we are completely connected because it's mind and body, physical, mental, connected. So what you did there was you charged your body, charge every cell in your body to move in the direction of where you want to go. So instead of retreating, Missy said, let me go back to fundamentals. This is something I've been talking about a lot, is the fundamentals. You went back to 101, basic. Let me visualize. Let me bring myself back instead of getting drawn into the chaos of being sick and all the things that could happen, and it isn't happening. You went back and you calmed everything down and you commanded your cells to work along with me.
Yep.
Right? Unbelievable.
Beautiful. Yep.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So listening out there, whatever you're going through right now, Missy, in you know, the beauty of sports is that you can encapsulate life in one moment. So whatever you're going through right now, whoever, you know, listening, Missy didn't focus on the idea that she's sick. In reality, she was feeling, her body was telling her a different story, but she commanded her mind. She went back to square one and started to command her body to follow where her mind was going. So if you're out there right now and you're going through stuff, could be sickness, it could be finance, could be anything. 101, go back to fundamentals, do what Missy just did. Command yourself to go in the direction of where you want to go, and let's see it follow, right? So that's awesome. Suffering, I want to talk about this idea. You know, Fuad, we both know Fuad Abiad. He has a slogan he always said when he was competing, that sacrifice without regret. That's his quote.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of suffering. Every time when I used Ben Pekulski, Jay Cutler-Ronnie, when I worked with them, the biggest thing I found was whenever they won, whenever they are about to win, Frank McGrath, you name it, winning always came right around with suffering, when they felt like suffering. And whenever I work with people who they're close to the stage, but they say, oh man, I'm feeling good, lots of energy, no fatigue, I notice that they don't win. So talk to me about suffering, whether it be mental suffering, physical suffering, and the focus it gives you.
Yeah. So I guess there's been like times in prep where you have to get down to that suffering point, right? Whether it is the diet or physically, like with your training. For me, it probably gets around like that 8-week out mark. I really like, okay, stuff is starting to happen now, like body's really changing. The one thing this year that I really, really focused on was the mental game. There would be times where I would be suffering, but like get in that negative headspace, like, oh, because I'm feeling like crappy this way, maybe this instead. Like I was just trying to find easy ways out. But when that suffering part kicks in, it's like you got to lock your brain in now. You really have to focus on like making yourself better. And that suffering is going to come, but you just have to push through it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So that was a big thing this year. It was just, really getting out of my head, but getting into my head, if that makes sense.
That does completely makes sense. No, completely. Here's a quote that I wrote down that, again, you're bringing up so many nuggets in there. The obstacle is the way. When we run away from the obstacle, whatever, so again, you're listening, there's something that there's a level of growth you need to do from where you are, business, life, sports. There's an obstacle. The obstacle is the growth point, and you keep pushing away from it. You don't want to go through it.
Right.
Well, Missy just told you the obstacle is the way. The only way to get to mastery, to go through, to get to that other side where Missy now, she turns around, she sees 2 medals there. She has to go through that suffering. She had to go through the loss to get there. That's the suffering. She had to go. It's a quote that says everybody wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die to do it.
Right.
Something's got to die. You're disciplined. You gotta have discipline. So that's awesome. Now, when you think about the competition, when you saw your competition, was there any doubt? Did you start to do the mind game at all?
No.
Yeah.
No, because we practice, right? Like
yeah.
Matt and I physically, like you and I mentally, Matt and I physically, had it all practiced. All the I's were dotted, T's were crossed. I was so incredibly confident. I can talk about it now and be okay with being confident when I talk about it. But at the time, like you and I had discussed it, I got off social media for the last 4 weeks because I wanted to be totally in my element. And I couldn't be more proud of myself for like what I accomplished this year.
Yeah.
It's funny because the Arnold is in March, right? The Arnold Classic. And a lot of people wanted me to go and reclaim that title. And, a couple of weeks ago, I was honestly having like a little bit of FOMO, like you and I text back and forth, and Matt and I were talking, and Matt had just said to me, like, babe, if you lost the Olympia, like obviously you would have done the Arnold, but won the Olympia, like you would be sacrificing if you took second at the Olympia to do the Arnold again. Like you don't worry about the Arnold. Like you just won the Olympia. Like take a break. And that kind of like solidified like, okay, like I do deserve like a break. Get to like an off season and make improvements for the Olympia. I feel really good about everything.
I love that. And we saw when you're on social media, we saw that you went on vacation, you and Matt, and now you're working on your business. So there's 2 sides to it. There's 2 sides. So your reward for winning is that now you get to go step back, because it's tough. It's right now, just think about it. Right now you'd be in the grind again,
right,
to get ready for a few weeks from now again. So it would be so mentally, physically taxing on your body to stay in that zone still. Like, so your reward for winning is you get a break.
Yeah. And now I have the opportunity to work with Adela Garcia. She's Fitness Olympia, such a icon in the industry, like a legend, someone I've literally looked up to my entire life.
Mhm.
So her and I'm going to be sponsoring her show. So I'm going to
Mm.
prize money for
Awesome.
the IFBB fitness division. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, and you know what's great about that is you get to now give back
Yes.
and support the industry and the, you know, women and the group, just help this thing to leverage this thing to take off.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. That'll be in June.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So now, Missy, so you've stepped back and you know, we're savoring the win. You've gone on vacation, you and Matt have reconnected. You're working on your business now. Now we get time to breathe. What's next? What's the next move for you?
So right now it's like you said, focusing on my business. Clients are doing really, really well, and
Mhm.
new clients just keep coming in. So that's
Beautiful.
I'll be doing like guest appearances and
Mhm.
with Axe and Sledge, which is really awesome. And then, like I just told you, the Adela Garcia show in June, I'll be
Mhm.
has money up for that. So that's like really big for me.
Huge.
I'm very proud to be doing that.
Yeah, that's huge.
And yeah, just trying to do as much as I can for the industry, you know, giving
Mhm.
with posing clinics and seminars. So just because it's the off season, it's still really busy, and training wise, like putting in the work every day.
Mhm.
It's cliche, but literally no days off. Like food has to be on point, everything. So
Yeah.
everything's rolling.
Yeah, no, you know what? This is so good because just think about that too. If you did the Arnolds, one, you'd be in prep right now,
Yeah.
mentally and physically, just engaged again. And then we go win the Arnolds. Then how long would you have until you're prepping up for the Olympia again?
Like 30 weeks.
See, so
Not a lot of time.
not a lot of time.
No.
Not a lot of time. So when you start to think about it in that timeline, you realize, yeah, you know what? This is not only something I should do, this is something that's required. It's essential that I do it.
Yeah.
Right. To win. So awesome. Now, what we're going for 3.
Going for 3.
What's the motivation now? Where do you go? So here you are. You won the one. It's easy to be, it's easy to chase the rabbit. But when you're the rabbit, when you're at the top, who do you chase? So you went for 1, you had an interruption. Now you got 2.
Yeah.
What's the motivation for 3?
Motivation for 3, honestly, is my physique and routine from this past Olympia. So Matt and I have already been like collaborating on a new fitness routine. So routine is going to be even more epic.
Okay.
I'm working on new skills. I just want to really wow the audience. So it's already in motion, and I have like 40 weeks to really execute this new routine. And it's going back to Orlando, the Olympia. So I really know that venue, that stage, what everything feels like. So I'm already starting to visualize, you know, like our routine, what we do. So I feel really good about that. And another motivating factor for this Olympia is just truly like not looking at other women and other girls. It's really, I have to beat myself. I literally have to beat myself. And being 60% last Olympia, I know I'm going to be better. If I don't get, I know I will be better.
Right, exactly. I like that. We talked about, you and I are always finding metaphors for the shark. First of all, there's levels to the ocean, and you're taking us deep. So you took us 60% deep. Now you're going to take us a little deeper, see the darkest part of the ocean. And we talked about the idea that when a shark's very young, they eat minnows, they eat small little, but as they get bigger, they start to eat bigger prey, even their own kind. They'll eat their own kind. So
Yeah.
here comes Missy now. She's insatiable. She's getting bigger and bigger and just apex.
Devouring everything
In front of her. So unbelievable. Now, as a parting message to all the girls, women that are coming up, I know I started working with someone who totally admires you, and you're probably on their wall. What do you have to say about them, about staying focused, because how long ago did I treat you when you started in Canada?
I was 18 when I first saw you.
Right. And here you are today. So how does someone stay consistent, Missy? That's a final parting message. What do you give advice to someone? Because look, you're 18 when I treated you, so that means you've been in it for that long, and you're finally here. You didn't quit. Talk about consistency. What made you stay the course? Because it's first of all, it's an expensive gamble.
Yes. Yep.
And there's no payoff at the beginning. There's no payoff for a long time. What can you tell them? How do they stick to it?
I knew I wanted to be Miss Fitness Olympia. It was a dream of mine. And then it turned into like my passion. And it turned into an actual career once I started making money. You honestly have to believe in yourself. That's one thing I really want to preach, is to believe in yourself. Keep pushing forward. Times get tough, but when that tough time comes, like we talked about, that's when it's getting real, and you just got to keep going, got to keep moving, got to keep swimming forward. Sharks don't swim backwards, they keep moving
forward, and they just go deeper, they get more hungry.
That's right. Yeah.
Love it. I'll finish off with this. So I'm always taking what Missy says and just stretching it, because she just triggers a lot of thoughts. There's a quote that says, "It's always darkest before the dawn." So if you look at December 21st, it's the darkest in Canada. It's the shortest day. So 4:30, it's dark.
Yeah.
However, the 22nd and on and on and on, it gets lighter and lighter. So just before you think it's never going to get light again, remember, it's always darkest before the dawn. So that's what Missy's saying. When you think it's not going to work out, keep going.
Yep. Love it.
Awesome. All right, Missy, once again, we'll leave some on the table for 3.
Yes.
We'll be back for 3. And I want to thank you again. And you've inspired me and many people. I've heard it myself. Even men here are watching your journey and who are competing, saying, "I'm watching Missy." So you're changing the landscape.
Wow. Elvin, just one quick thing here.
Yeah.
When I first started, you had said to me that there's a champion and her name is, and I remember just sitting there like, who? And you're like, Missy Truscott.
That's right.
And I'm like, the first couple times you said it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I was like, whatever. But then I honestly, Elvin, I truly started to believe it. I didn't say it on Instagram and stuff because I didn't want to come across as cocky, but in my heart, I believed it.
Yep.
Say it to myself in the gym, and Matt and I would say it to each other. I go, "There's a champion and her name is," and he'd go, "Missy Truscott."
Right.
Like it totally resonates with me now. So I just encourage, your audience and my supporters to say it too, There's a champion and their name is, and you say your name and you freaking believe it.
Absolutely. And, and just remember, if you're coming after Missy, first of all, you're going to get a fight. But second of all, bring your absolute best, because your best helps her to raise her game. Don't do any less. Don't prepare any less, because she's not going to do it. And your attempt to get after her enables her to raise her game to that next level. So everybody wins.
That's right.
All right, everybody. So you know why I do this? I am relentless about helping you to achieve personal mastery because the enemy is never outside, it's within. It's the 3-part mastery, which we didn't get the user's manual for. So until next time, Missy, thanks so much again. There's a champion, and her name is what?
Missy Truscott.
Damn right, damn right. Yeah, 2 times. All right, everybody. Peace and love. We're out.